about tonight, the ceremony that's going to happen tonight?
Oh, I am looking forward to it.
Do you know what they're going to do to you?
I really do not know.
Mr. Egbert, Mrs. Francis, ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here this evening for a very solemn but happy occasion, the presentation of the Renaissance Award, the highest award of the International Council on Social Welfare.
Mr. President, distinguished recipients of the awards to be handed over today, ladies and gentlemen, I am rather specially delighted to have the opportunity of associating myself with the work of the International Council on Social Welfare, and doing so at this rather special ceremony to present the Rene Award. As one who serves the Commonwealth, I hope you will allow me the indulgence of a rather special pleasure from the fact that the recipient of the award comes from India, a country which can justifiably be described as a founding member of the modern Commonwealth. In addition, your Distinguished Service Award is being made to a national of Jamaica, also a Commonwealth country, and one from my own region of the Caribbean. In my occupational concerns, I am, for the most part, engaged in activity involving governments. But it is work which constantly recognizes the value of the non-governmental sector and indeed the spirit of voluntary service. Over the past several years, I have been increasingly impressed by the very positive and creative work of this unofficial sector, work which greatly assists governments in realizing their own objectives in respect of the welfare of their people. Most governments, sadly not yet all, acknowledge the value of that work, and there is growing cooperation between the two sectors. In the Commonwealth Secretariat, in our work in very diverse fields, in education, in law, in health, in the role of women in development, and in many others, we ourselves benefit from collaboration with several non-governmental organizations. My perceptions of the role of voluntary organizations and of the many individuals whose dedication sustains their work have been further reinforced by my involvement in the cause of global development. It is repeatedly claimed that communications have made of the world a global village. Air travel, telecommunications, and satellites have all served to do so. But if far-flung places have become more familiar through travel, through what is read in newspapers or seen on television screens, our perception of a world of several worlds has altered little. Our divisions are still with us. Our loyalties remain fragmented. Our governance fails to respect the intimations of one world, which the concept of the global village evokes. If the challenge of global poverty is to be met, we must, I think, move closer in reality to that one world, that that one world which the pictures from space, and indeed our best instincts, tell us that we inhabit.
It is a great honor and also a great pleasure for me to present to you, on behalf of the International Council on Social Welfare, the Distinguished Service Award. Certainly, I have this honor and this pleasure by the reason of my charge of Vice President for Latin American and Caribbean region. As you know, the award you are receiving today is distributed each 2 years to a person who has rendered distinguished service to the ICSW and in general to the community in the social welfare field. You, dear Mrs. Francis, were the persons selected for the award this year. And all your friends from ICSW and from Latin American and Caribbean region are very glad for this election. Congratulations and God bless you.
Tonight, we're honoring an individual who has not only overcome repeated personal tragedy, but who has inspired others by his example of extraordinary accomplishments. And in honoring Mr. Egbert, we pay him tribute as the representative of thousands of people in towns and villages around the world who serve to help others enjoy a more fulfilling and productive life. And while we're departing somewhat from the usual criteria for the award, it is consciously so because in a very profound sense, the award this evening reminds us that national committees and international membership organizations are made up of people serving people, promoting individual and social well-being around the world. Further, in no other forum would you find the spectrum of interests vital to social welfare and social development, such as on our platform this evening. Mr. Rampal, whose scope of concern is intergovernmental at the highest levels. Mrs. Sybil Francis, who is respected as a social welfare leader and teacher in Jamaica and throughout the Caribbean. And now, Mr. Sundar Egbert, who is representative of the grassroots, the too often unnoticed people throughout the world who don't wait for instructions about what to do next, nor for money from their government or from the United Nations, but who set about to use what they have, concern, energy, and creativity, to make a difference. The Center has progressed tremendously since it was founded 14 years ago, and as much in the last half of this period when Sundar has been in complete control as in the earlier times. Well over 100 handicapped boys have been trained, and most have found jobs in spite of prevailing high unemployment rates in the area. The attitudes of the trainees have changed from expecting everything to be given to them to a sense of initiative and self-confidence. The work-study emphasis of the Center has enabled the Center to be self-supporting since the second year of its operation. The standards of the Center have made it competitive in the local industry market. Many local industries now depend on Sundar and his trainees for parts for various industry products. Respect has been built, and local industry personnel are aware of the productive abilities of the handicapped. And only recently, the second export order came through. 100 wheelchairs for Ghana. This, it seems clear, is evidence of the high standards Sundar and his trainees have achieved. But the highest standard of all is the standard of excellence, compassion, and achievement of Mr. Sundar Egbert. And he joins the ranks of those who have received this award before him, who are humanitarian leaders and who have been noticed and given recognition by ICSW. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to present to you Mr. Sundar Egbert, recipient of the Rene Award.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Paul, Mr. Rampal, Mrs. Francis, friends and colleagues. First of all, I wish to thank you for the honor you have conferred on me today. When the news of the Rene Award was received, I was delighted, naturally, but at the same time humbled by the thought there were many others, even in my part of the globe, who deserve this award more than I do. Tonight, therefore, I accept this honor in all humility, not just as a personal recognition, but deeming your choice a tribute to all those individuals who are working in the forlorn corners of the world without a thought for reward or award for the betterment of their fellow human beings. I found that one of the main points slated for discussion in this conference was, where do the responsibilities of governments end and where do the responsibilities of voluntary organizations begin? I was wondering if this was to bring into focus a trend to downgrade voluntary effort in the developed world. My question from the developing world will be just the antithesis. Where do the responsibilities of the voluntary organizations end and those of governments begin? 2 centuries of voluntary action and results on society of this action is proof enough of the continuing role and responsibility of the voluntary sector. It is this sector which has always spearheaded social change and opened up roads towards social progress, which governments have followed and provided legal sanction. Government can multiply the pioneering efforts of voluntary organizations, but the danger lies in the fact such help may enrich the wrong people. Voluntary efforts, however, suffer from other kinds of malice which need looking into. They tend to work in isolation. They tend to work in duplication. They tend to work, though unconsciously, in competition. The successes and failures of one are not known to the other. They are unable to learn from the strengths and weaknesses of each other. There is no forum at the local level to share their experience. If knowledge and expertise are shared, resources can be utilized even better, providing more opportunities for more people. What developing nations have to find their own solutions to their own problems in development. And this applies particularly to rehabilitation. Ready solutions from other continents are inconsequential and irrelevant and fail to produce results. Solutions from even within one country that cuts across cultural and geographic differences are doomed to the same fate. the needs and aspirations of the individual, and the opportunity to fulfill them has to be paramount in rehabilitation. In conclusion, I am afraid that the time at my disposal does not permit me to give you solid examples for all the contentions I have made before you this evening. Rather than therefore leave you with conclusions, I would like to conclude with challenges. There are scores and scores of international organizations with a real commitment working for social progress in the developing world. How wonderful it would be if they were to sit together from time to time. How uplifting it would be if all of them were here, so that we may be enriched by their experience and they may be enabled by our strength. The future of social progress lies in the hands of dedicated individuals. Only individuals with innovative thinking will set the pace for the future as in the past. It is their concern, their compassion, their creativity, their vitality, which will still light the way of social progress and promote human well-being in the years to come. Let their courage, faith, hope, and love inspire us and guide us into a better tomorrow and a better future. Thank you.
Mr. President, Mr. Sunda Egbert, Mrs. Sybil Francis, Mr. Sridhar Ramphal, distinguished guests and fellow delegates. On behalf of the Salvation Army delegation, I am privileged to publicly congratulate Mr. Sunda Egbert upon his being awarded the Rene Sound Award. There are four distinct groups of people who would wish to congratulate Mr. Egbert and to share in the joy and honour that is his. These are the doctors and the staff of the Catherine Booth Hospital, Nagarcoil, who worked and encouraged and helped young Sunda to walk with the aid of crutches and calipers. Little did they realise the example and inspiration he was to become to others. The second group I would mention are the Salvation Army officers and staff, numbering some thousands and serving in 86 countries, who will today be happy to be identified with Mr. Egbert, his Christian commitment and his work. And thirdly, in a wider context, Mr. Egbert is representative of the voluntary organisations which contribute so effectively and valuably to social service and welfare. And fourthly, and significantly I believe, for the first time the Rene Sound Award is presented to a worker in the field. It is so easy for us administrators to develop theories, to propound policies. But if our work is to have any value at all, someone has to translate those policies and put the theories into action. And this Mr. Egbert has done with great success. All workers in the field can be identified with Mr. Egbert tonight and take encouragement from his success. I thank the committee for making the award to such a worthy person, and I congratulate Mr. Sunda Egbert upon his success.